Thrumming with art, culture, and history, Boston is one of the best places to visit for a one-of-a-kind vacation. Not only does it offer everything from rock climbing to helicopter touring, but it's also one of the oldest and most historically significant locations in the United States. It was the site of the Boston Tea Party. It was the place where Paul Revere took his revolutionary ride. If you're interested in the American biography, Boston is where the first pages were written. Are you planning a trip to Boston? Do you need some pointers and travel hacks for your journey? So here's the list of 10 best things to do in Boston, Massachusetts. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the latest upcoming travel videos. Here we go. Number 1. Fenway Park. The fields are green. The seats are rickety. The smell of popcorn is always in the air. As one of the oldest baseball stadiums in the United States, Fenway Park has been carefully preserved as an athletic landmark, so it has a classic, clean-cut vibe that harks back to the golden days of America's favorite pastime. For example, did you know that Fenway Park has never been expanded? It still seats the same number of people as it did in 1912, so it offers a close, personal view of your favorite pitchers and batters. You can also hail old-fashioned hot dog vendors or take a tour of the stadium's clubhouses and press rooms. Number 2. Walk the Freedom Trail. This is a Boston must-do. Every Bostonian that we spoke to said that the Freedom Trail was one of the best things to do in Boston. This 2.5-mile road will take you past 16 historically significant sites that are a total throwback, including the Boston Common, the Massachusetts State House, Granary Burying Ground, Park Street Church, and more. You can either go on a walking tour or discover it at your own pace by following the red line that marks the route. The walking routes are easy to follow and a much more efficient way to see the trail if you're looking to explore on your own terms and the full route. Number 3. Faneuil Hall Marketplace. Located in Boston's downtown district, Faneuil Hall is best known for the role that the brick building played during the American Revolution. Although built as a marketplace in 1742 with funds that donor Peter Faneuil acquired in the slave trade, the second-story assembly rooms became a gathering spot for patriots yearning for freedom. Among them was the lawyer James Otis, who not only gave the building its nickname, the Cradle of Liberty, but coined the rallying cry, "No taxation without representation," as well. The building is still used as both a marketplace and as a place for political debates and among the most popular tourist attractions in Boston. Number 4. Boston Common. Boston Common is impossible to miss on a list of things to do in Boston, if only because of what surrounds it. Beacon Hill, the Massachusetts State House, Park Street Church, and the Boston Public Garden are all visible from it, and Downtown Crossing, the Theater District, Back Bay, and more are all just a short walk away. Even better, Boston Common is a destination in its own right. The green lawns are perfect for flopping, the food stalls sell, admittedly overpriced, snacks, and you can almost always find a performance going on during the weekends, whether it's as elaborate as Shakespeare in the park or as simple as one person with an instrument. Be sure to check out the Frog Pond. This shallow, less than a foot deep, pool is a splash pool for children in the summer, but in the winter it turns into an ice skating rink. That will be our first stop if we ever return to Boston in the winter. Number 5. USS Constitution. Take a step back in time and experience what life was at sea over 200 years ago at the USS Constitution Museum. Not only are there fascinating exhibits and endless artifacts here, but visitors will also have the opportunity to get interactive by scrubbing the decks, furling a sail, and even firing a cannon. The heroic ship, anchored in front of the Boston National Historical Park, continues to symbolize honor and pride to the country. All through the battles, the ship had never been defeated, so gained its nickname, Old Ironsides, for not having much damage. Visit the ship for free and listen to stories from active-duty Navy sailors to know more about the historic journey of this oldest commissioned warship afloat in the world. Number 6. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. This is one of our favorite museums in Boston and the country. At once intimate and unparalleled in its grandeur, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum draws on the vast art collection of its eponymous and eccentric founder, who had a thirst for travel, a bohemian lifestyle. and the fine luxuries of ancient cultures. Set within a Venetian-style palazzo surrounding an elegant courtyard, masterpieces by the likes of Botticelli, Raphael, Titian, and John Singer Sargent share space with impressive architectural elements. Stuart Gardner herself delicately arranged the collection of more than 7,500 fine and decorative art objects, 2,700 books and manuscripts, and over 8,000 historic objects from around the world, including sculptures, furniture, textiles, metalworks, and ceramics that she collected during her lifetime. Number 7. Boston Public Garden. Though the Boston Public Garden sits right next to Boston Common, the two are quite different. The Public Garden is newer, established in 1837, and holds the distinction of being America's first public botanical garden. Flowers and trees are beautifully organized and kept in quality condition throughout. You can see the colorful arrangements and exotic trees from the 6-acre pond as you glide along the water in a swan boat. Additionally, the park houses two of Boston's most iconic statues, Make Way for Ducklings, a bronze sculpture of a duck and her 8 ducklings, and a sculpture of George Washington, which shows America's first president riding on a horse. Visitors looking to relax after sightseeing will enjoy the Boston Public Garden. Number 8. Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum. On the night of December 16, 1773, more than a year before the first battle of the American Revolution, angry Bostonians protesting attacks on goods shipped to the colonies stormed ships from England and threw the tea into the harbor at this site. With full-scale replicas of the original ships from which the Sons of Liberty dumped tea overboard, the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum offers tours with a participatory reenactment of that event. Of course, everyone gets to dump tea into the harbor. In the museum, you'll see the only known tea chest from that ill-fated cargo. This is more a history as entertainment attraction than a living history museum. But kids are drawn into the fun as they learn about shipboard life and American history, so it's no wonder this is one of the favorite things to do for families in Boston. Number 9. New England Aquarium. There's so much to see and do at the New England Aquarium that you'll need a dozen pairs of eyes to catch everything. From the cute little penguins to the colorful sea turtles, it's a smorgasbord of fun. The main attraction of the New England Aquarium is its ocean tank, a series of see-through tunnels that allow you to walk under 200,000 gallons of water. You'll crane your neck for all kinds of eels, sharks, stingrays, and sea dragons that swim freely over your head. You might also like the tide pool, a gigantic pool where you can actually touch things like snails, hermit crabs, and sea urchins. Or maybe you're more interested in the penguin or seal exhibits. The former is famous for its collection of rockhopper penguins, and the latter is famous for being a free exhibit that you can enjoy outside of the aquarium without even needing to pay for a ticket. If you're looking for places to go in Boston, put the New England Aquarium on your shortlist. Number 10. Museum of Fine Arts. If you want to make the most out of the Museum of Fine Arts, one of the most comprehensive art institutions in the country, then you'll need to spend a good chunk of your day here. The museum is home to one of the best art collections in the world, including the celebrated Art of the Americas wing. Inside this sprawling collection, you'll encounter galleries showcasing iconic pieces from indigenous cultures in North, South, and Central America to works by contemporary artists like Edward Hopper. You'll also find an impressive collection of Asian art here, plus works from Monet, Renoir, Manet, and Rembrandt on display. And in special temporary exhibits, you can admire masterpieces from Black artists like Diedrich Brackens and Picasso, among others. Number 11. Boston Public Library. There's a lot to love about the Boston Public Library. It's the oldest municipally funded lending library in the country. Its McKim building is considered the masterwork of iconic Gilded Age architect Charles Follen McKim. And an ongoing calendar of free events all year round means there is quite literally always a tour to go on, lecture to attend, or exhibit to peruse. Architecture Nuts should reserve a spot on one of the thrice-weekly art and architecture tours, which unlocks some of the premise's lesser-known gems, including tile arches by famed Spanish builder Rafael Guastavino, and the first mural commission from John Singer Sargent. The museum is home to all sorts of treasures beyond just books, including the lesser-known but entirely worthwhile Norman B. Leventhal Map Center, which houses over 250,000 geographic objects. Number 12. JFK Presidential Library and Museum. Dedicated to the memory of the 35th U.S. President, the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum is the official national memorial to JFK, designed by noted architect I.M. Pei and opened in 1979. The museum, which stands on the shore south of the city, features 3 theaters, personal memorabilia, photographs, and historical exhibits that document the life of JFK and his presidency. Exhibits cover the presidential campaign trail, the Oval Office, First Lady Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy, and the Kennedy family. Interactive experiences here include the free and family-friendly highlights tours and the hands-on cart programs, which include the PT 109 story and a closer look at the race for space. Number 13. Arnold Arboretum of Harvard University. A gorgeous 281-acre green space within Boston, the Arnold Arboretum of Harvard University is the oldest public arboretum in North America, 1872. And the highlight of Frederick Law Olmsted's famed Emerald Necklace series of green spaces in the city. Prolific biking and walking trails zigzag past more than 16,000 accession plants, many meticulously marked with signs. The natural splendor is a feast for the eyes, which are able to spot the sheer diversity of trees and plants at every turn. QR-coded signs and the Arboretum's easy-to-use Expeditions app make it possible to dig deep into the environment. Number 14. Old North Church. One of the most popular places to visit in Boston is the atmospheric Old North Church, which lies in the historic North End neighborhood of the city. The oldest standing church in town, it was built in 1723 and exhibits some exquisite architecture with its tall steeple rising up dramatically above its surroundings. Now a National Historic Landmark, the church contains a brilliant bust of George Washington with influential figures from the city's past like Major John Pitcairn and Captain Samuel Nicholson being buried in its crypt. Immortalized in Longfellow's famous poem, Paul Revere's Ride, which tells the tale of how he alerted the townspeople about the advancing British troops, the Old North Church is certainly well worth visiting for its intriguing history, architecture, and ambience. Number 15. Museum of Science. A fun, fascinating, and family-friendly place to visit, the Museum of Science is home to a staggering array of interactive exhibits. Exhibits in the extensive Museum of Science encourage learning through hands-on exploration of science and technology, but the museum is not just for children. Physics, biology, chemistry, ecology, zoology, astronomy, computers, and more are explored in more than 700 permanent, hands-on exhibits that are enhanced by stage presentations and interpreters. I find it every bit as engaging as my children do and can easily spend a whole day here. Highlights are a 65-million-year-old fossil discovered in the Dakota Badlands, an electricity dome with continuing programs, the Butterfly Garden where you can walk among free-flying butterflies in a conservatory filled with exotic plants, a live animal center, a chance to join local meteorologists to learn weather forecasting, and Computer Place, where you can operate a robot and explore how your computer stores information. The last word. So guys, this was the best list of things to do in Boston, Massachusetts. Hope you will like it and appreciate it. People who come to the city are amazed by all of the awesome things there are to do and see. And if nature is more of your thing, then you'll love the number of aquatic and outdoor activities from kayaking through Charles River to getting soaked on a jet boat. As New England's beacon of innovation, tourism, and culture, any traveler, whether a thrill seeker, history buff, backpacker, or foodie, will be spoiled for choice when it comes to things to do in Boston. So if you love to travel and you want to see the whole world, then Tripoyer is the channel that gives you a list of the best places to visit in the USA. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icons for latest upload videos. Bye bye, see you.